I lost yours. Hang on. There we go. Got it. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are. Welcome to Let's Talk, the first episode of 10 limited series, Let's Talk, live with Sandy. And I still don't have my voice back, but we will be talking today. Hopefully my guests do all the speaking. So Let's Talk 10 limited series with Sandy. Today's our first of the 10 limited series, where we bring awareness and give the voice to survivors of domestic violence, as well as men and women who are looking for ways to go from being overpowered to empowered. As you know, or you may not know, I am a certified coach and a certified health and life coach, and I do coach clients on ways to move from being overpowered to empowered in 90 days by letting go of old beliefs, setting the ideal future and career, road mapping to financial success, unlocking love and a relationship again, which I've done, saying yes to self, and I'm still learning to do that, taking see voice going again, taking empowered actions and setting boundaries and accountabilities. I'm also the author of The Unwanted Wife and soon to be released, The Ungracious Daughter. Let's Talk Live with Sandy provides viewers with a direct view into the minds of a survivor, as well as provide insights on various topics of interest for such men and women. Today, we will be diving into the life of Sunita Maharaj, my very special guest, who is a divorcee and a mother of teen twins. And she'll tell us a little bit more about, being divorced and having twins. So welcome on the first of 10 series, Sunita. Sunita Maharaj was born and raised in Toronto. And I believe you're Trinidadian background, right, Sunita? And she currently works with the City of Toronto, Parks and Forestry Recreation Division. And like me, she's a Bollywood dancer, a professional Bollywood dancer, teaches with the City of Toronto on the weekends. She's a single mom of 3 children, including twin teenagers, that's what we will be talking about today. So Sunita, tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll dive into the other topics. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, let's see. Being a single mom is not easy. Being a single mom of twins is not easy. It's been a challenge for us. I've had a lot of support from family, my sisters, my parents, especially my dad. My last 3 sisters were always there for me. They were sort of like a backbone for me when the twins were toddlers, especially. The one person that was most happy and most accommodating to me having the twins and being a newly single mom was my dad. He said to me, it doesn't matter if it's 1 baby, 2 babies, or multiple babies in there, I'm taking care of all of them. And that meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me because that kind of support from a parent is 1 in a million.
Of course, of course. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about, hold on, I think my privacy is, 1 second. I think I'm on, I don't even know how to do this. I think I'm on private. I shall see. That's okay. Sorry about that. I'm still doing this. So, so twins, tell us a little bit about your pregnancy. Let's talk about the pregnancy part, and then we'll go back and forth and see what we can, how we can tell us how you got there. Or do you want to talk about how you got there first before the pregnancy?
We decided, well, my husband and I decided at the time, he actually was the one that decided he wants to have twins. Because my 4th sister was pregnant with twins at the time we were married, and he was like, why can't we have twins too? And so said done. Within a month, I was pregnant with twins.
So, wait a minute, was it like planned twins, or is it like
It was a planned pregnancy. We weren't exactly planning for twins, because when he said he wanted twins, obviously, you know, it has to be run in the family somehow.
Right.
But
So
it just so happened that we got twins within a month. I was pregnant with the girls.
that's amazing, even though you didn't know if did you know that it runs in your family or in his family?
It doesn't.
Wow.
It just happened. I know it's still a mystery to all of us, because my mom was there when he said it in the car, and she was like, he got his wish, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we did our first ultrasound when I was 6 weeks along, 2 months along, and we took off.
Wow.
He said, I don't want the twins anymore. So I was like, well, you asked for them, they're here, you know?
Yeah.
But I was given the option of keeping the marriage or keeping my twins. I opted for my twins, and I left the marriage.
So wait a minute. So he wanted twins.
Yeah.
And then when you got pregnant with twins, he didn't want it after all?
No.
Oh, man.
So then I was left alone, 4 months pregnant. Honestly, if it wasn't for my family, I would have fallen apart. They picked up the slack. My parents were so supportive. My sisters, when I had them, like everyone was so supportive. I went ahead with the pregnancy, although it brought me a lot of depression during the pregnancy. I wasn't sure what was going to happen next. Like, how do I take care of 2 babies at the same time? Where financially, what was going to happen? You know, so much things. I was scared of having a C-section. I was scared of everything during the pregnancy, you know? So yes, I did go into a lot of depression after that. But I carried the twins to 8 months. I had them premature. And thankfully, they were both very easy to deliver.
Yeah.
But
so you had already had a child before?
Yeah, he was 10 at the time.
At the time, and then you had the twins. And so taking care of a 10-year-old as
And
well
twins.
as being pregnant with twins, I could imagine not,
Yeah.
you know, a single mom and being pregnant. So so let's go back a little bit and talk about like, did he support you through the pregnancy, or did he just take off and never showed up?
He just took off. He just took off. Everything that I wanted, I got it from my parents, like vitamins and everything else. They would take care of me. He took off, never looked back, changed his phone number. At one point, I couldn't find him. Thanks to one of his cousins, I was able to find him. But he made it clear he wanted nothing to do with me or the babies, because he said to me, I gave you an option, me or the babies. I chose the babies. Yeah. He's very bold like that. So.
You know, I still don't get over how people can just take off and not want to be a parent when you were part of conceiving, you know?
When you were the one that used for them.
Yeah, and you know, like I have that with Kevin. With, you know, I think Kevin and your son have the same age, because your son's 26, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kevin's 26 as well, and I still can't understand that. So, but that's a whole other that's a whole other live talk with Sandy again.
Coincidentally, the twins' dad name is Kevin.
Oh crap! Okay. So what's the names of your twins?
Sanjana and 𝘂𝘶𝘆, and I gave them my last name, so they both carry Maharaj.
Oh, okay, perfect. And who's older?
Sanjana. 7 minutes.
How many?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Right. Oh my God, I can't imagine doing that 2 times all at once, you know?
It was not a picnic, because 𝘂𝘶𝘆, being my little rebel up until now, she's 16 years old and she's still very rebellious. She was like that from inside. So they were both head down at the time of delivery, and the doctor said to me, okay, you don't need a C-section, we can do this. I said, okay, I'm the one that's doing it, but okay. So Sanjana was born after 26 hours of labor. Then 𝘂𝘶𝘆 got some room and turned around. So she came breech, so she came feet first, relaxing and all, sucking her thumb like nothing was happening, you know? Yeah. But they're preemie, but they're pretty healthy babies. So thank God for that.
Yeah. Preemie at 8 months is not that bad. I know some people had twins at 7 months.
Yeah. Only because Kajal at the time had drank the amniotic fluid. She was in the incubator for a bit, and then they both had jaundice because I was O positive.
Right.
My blood was O positive, so yeah.
So did you have to stay a long time in the hospital?
9 days.
That's not bad for having preemie.
Well, I was out technically. I stayed in the
they were not.
They had to stay, so I stayed with them because I wanted to breastfeed them for every feeding. So I stayed. I choose to stay in the hospital with them. Yeah. At that time, we had the option. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you must have had support taking care of your older one.
Yeah, my mom had him, and my sisters were the ones that would make sure I had all my milk and everything else taken care of in the hospital. Yeah. They would bring everything.
It's so great when you can have the support. So out of the two, are they identical?
No, they're fraternal. Thank God.
And who looks more like you?
Kajal, the second one.
I say that too when I see them, but some people have a different opinion. To me, she does look like you.
And she has I know how to deal with her because she's a little me.
Yeah. So do they have like different personalities?
Very different, like night and day. Sanjana is more the reserved type, a no nonsense type of person. Kajal is like, okay, it's happening, let it happen kind of thing, you know, happy go lucky, but Miss Bubbly. Yeah.
And I know that, you know, when you have twins, especially when they're little and they're together, people ask you like stupid questions, right? So they would ask you like things like, is it hard raising twins? So is it hard raising twins?
Yes, it is. Well, the number one challenge for me when the twins were born was trying to breastfeed them at the same time, which I aced by the time they were about 3 months old. Then, I mean, well, there's a financial aspect of it. There's me losing them in the house. And so I decided to put piles on their legs so that I can hear the tinkle in the closet. Yeah, but all in all, like, I mean, it comes with a lot of stress, but it certainly comes with a lot of fun too. I enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, and I know your girls, they're lovely girls. So is it like, so you were saying you lost them and you had to put piles on their ankles. Piles are, for the people who don't know what pile is, can you explain?
The anklets with the bells.
Yeah, and we wear those for dancing as well. So tell me a little bit about Double Trouble.
Oh, okay. So when they started school, finally, they got separated in grade 1. But before that, they would switch their names on their teachers because back then they would look alike a lot. So I got called into school a lot for the teachers having migraines because they would switch names often. So that became routine. I would have the stress of Kajal would eat Sanjana's food at mealtime. So I would think Sanjana is having her meal when she really wasn't. It was Kajal. So I would notice the weight gain on one baby and then the other baby's not gaining the weight. Why is Sanjana eating her food this fast? And then I caught on that this is what the little brat was doing. But yeah, they certainly are a handful when they were toddlers. But I think with us, we grew together because me being 32 when I had them, I wasn't very well during the pregnancy. But when they were born, we actually became besties. We became friends. We became, you know, so I knew like, sometimes I'd sit and cry when they became too much to handle, but then, you know, watching them smile, watching them dance, from very little, I'd have them dancing Bollywood songs. And it made up for everything. It made up for everything that happened in the past, you know?
Yeah, well, you said you were 32 when you have them, and they're teenagers, and you still look like 32.
Thank you.
So now that they're teenagers, what are the double troubles of a teenager? Like, I mean, I had two teenage daughters at the same time. They were not twins, but I know the troubles that I had with them. And if parents who say that they had teenagers and didn't have trouble with their teenage daughters, that's not true.
Well, you're not gonna like me now. Because honestly, they call me the teenager in the house.
Oh, I see.
I work 8 to 4 every day. They take responsibility for pretty much everything. And for those who are looking and know my twins, they can tell you my twins would take responsibility for everything from laundry to everything, but they don't go in the kitchen.
Well, that's not the trouble I meant. I meant like my daughters too. Like I work and I went to school at the same time when they were teenagers. So I was back in school at the same time. So house was clean, food was taken care of. The little one was taken care of because he was a lot younger than them. But when it comes to like, and I guess with you, it's probably different because they don't have another home to go to with mine, because I was divorced, and so they had to go back and forth between me and their dad, and they would pull little pranks on me when they had to go to their dad, or they would pull like little pranks on him when they had to come by me, because if they were not allowed to do something at their dad's house, they would come to me, and it would be different, and the other way around. So one little story that I always remember with my second daughter, she was 16 at the time, and she wanted to go to this all age party, and okay. I said no, and she keeps saying, oh, I really want to go, and I keep saying no, you can't go, because I didn't know what all age party was. I'm thinking some 30-year-old is going to be there checking out my 16-year-old. I didn't know what it was, right? And so so I said no, and then all of a sudden she says, oh, I'm going to spend the weekend at my dad's house. Right away, bells went on in my head, and I knew that she was going to go there, and he's going to allow her to go because he was more lenient than I was. So I didn't say nothing. I let her go, and then we teach dance classes on Saturdays. So I dropped her off on Friday in the afternoon, and then I still pick her up back on Saturday morning for our dance classes. And so I picked her up, and she comes in. And I go, so how was your weekend? She goes, oh, how was your night? She said, no, nothing. I says, you didn't go to the all age? She said, no. I says, really, you didn't go? She said, no. We continue 5 minutes from the dad's house to the dance classes. And I keep asking her, you sure you didn't go? No. I said, so what's that on your hand? She had a stamp of where she went. So man, she was in trouble. So little things like that they used to do. I mean, even me as a teenager, I did things which I shouldn't have because my mom didn't want me to, although our parents were very strict. So that was the kind of trouble that I was talking about.
With them, no, because if they have to go somewhere, I pretty much tag along with them. If they want to get permission to do something, they would try my third brother-in-law. He's the dad, so they would go ask him. They won't ask me or my sister, they'll go ask him. So he's the okay beta kind of thing. Yeah. So he would say that to them, and they'll be like, oh, well, Uncle Bashir already said we can do this, so I can't,
override it. Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, they're really good teenagers. I really don't have any stress, except that they're trying to kill each other every so often.
Well, I was just going to ask you the next question. How close are they to each other? They're
very close. They're very, very close. They have their normal fights like siblings will, but they can't sleep without each other. They sense each other's pains and emotions. That's one thing that I have to be a little bit more sensitive with the first twin, because if the other one's in pain, or she's sad, or she's crying, she picks up on it right away. The first one would pick up on it. So if Kajal gets emotional, let's say she's at work right now, she gets emotional, Sanjana would know right away, my sister is having a moment. So, and they have telepathy. They discovered that when they were 10.
Oh.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, they try to use it to cheat on a test in school. That's when they discovered it, because Sanjana was sitting behind Kajal and she's trying to get her sister's attention because she was stuck on a question. And then in her mind, she kept saying, look at me, Kajal, look at me. And then Kajal turned around. She keeps turning around, and then Sanjana was like, how am I doing this? Because she's saying it in her head, right?
Right.
She came home that evening and she's like, Mom, I can speak to my sister in my head. And I was like, what do you mean? So her and I were watching TV and Kajal was in the bedroom. So I said, okay, fine, do it now, let me see. Because I never believed it. And you saw it in movies, but you never believe it, right?
Yeah.
She did it, she closed her eyes and she called her sister. And then I saw Kajal come running down the hallway. She's like, who called me?
Wow.
Yeah. So whenever you're with them and you see them smiling, know that they're having a discussion there.
Yeah, I'll be seeing them more in August, so I'll test it out.
So they discovered it, yeah, when they wanted to cheat on a test in grade 6. That's when they knew that they had telepathy between them.
Wow. That you know, sometimes you say you can read each other's mind, but you don't know. You don't know like how you do it and stuff like that, right? Yeah. That's really amazing.
It is. It's troublesome, but amazing.
Yeah. So how do they get along with their brother?
Oh, amazing. He has his favorite, which is Sanjana. Him and Kajal would wrestle because he thinks the thing with him is when I was pregnant, he was like, Mom, when he went with me for my ultrasound, he's like, Mom, at least let one of them be a boy.
Yeah.
So he told Kajal to be the boy when she came out. So he would treat her like the boy, like hold her upside down, wrestle with her, but he's gentle with Sanjana. But they have a very good, close relationship with each other. Yeah.
And do they like to dress alike or do they like to dress separate?
Up until they were, I think 11, they were dressing identical. But now they have their own personalities.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the dressing. Like, are they like extreme, like to different extreme, or is it like similar?
Pretty much the same style, like the little crop tops and the jeans, but their colors are different. Sanjana would prefer green. Kajal is with her red, like everything in her closet is pretty much red. Kajal is very out there, so she would go shopping and she's like, Mom, can I buy this? And she'll hold something up very strappy and I would say no. That happened recently. I said, no, I don't think so. So she'll put it down. Sanjana knows she will never ask. Like, Mom is gonna say no right off, so I'm not even gonna bother to ask. But they both love dressing up a lot. They love their wardrobe, their closet, their summer dresses. They're very out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about do they have a relationship with their dad?
Well, I tried. Like, I did call him a number of occasions and ask him to keep in contact with the twins. I said, at least once a month, give them a call. We don't need any money. We don't need anything. I take care of everything. Just call them so they know who you are. They know that they have a younger brother in Trinidad. He's 6, 7, or 8. I don't even know. But at least they'll have a relationship with that brother also, right? I don't want to. But he did call on their 16th birthday, which we found strange. And the reason why he called is because he needed his visa to travel. So he needed their help to get it. So that's his ticket. So when you ask them about him, they don't want to hear from him. They refer to him as Kevin. They don't know him, to be fair. They've never seen him except in a music video.
They've never seen him?
No.
They never met their dad?
They saw him for the first time in one of 𝘴𝘍𝘆's video. I forgot the song. And then after that, they would see him on flyers or something, but they've never seen him in person.
So is he in that industry?
Yeah, he's actually, you might know his dad, Nazim Khan.
Oh.
Kevin Khan is their dad.
Okay, yeah.
They're supposed to be Khans, but they carry Maharaj. Okay.
Well, I'm proud that they carry Maharaj because that's my maiden name as well.
Yeah, I know.
So the person in their life who, I mean, you are doing an awesome job, because I've met your twins and they are lovely young women. They're so mannerly, they're well spoken, they are pleasant, you know, like they're just beautiful girls. So you've done a fantastic job raising those girls. I must say that. However, do they have like a father figure? Like you said, you have the brother-in-law. What about your dad?
My dad,
You were close to your
my
dad.
dad, my son, my nephew, he's also 26. All of my brothers-in-law, they all, you know, you can call me, they can call them up at any time to have a chat with them. Even with my dad, I noticed 𝘂𝗁's recently attached herself to my dad. Well, she'll text him every day. They know they can pretty much discuss anything with their brother. They have a lot of male figures in their life.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, like, I find that they're very well-rounded kids. They're, you know, like, and I'm looking forward to August when they'll be joining our dance school, like one of them. So I can tell already that they do have different personalities because only one wants to do it, right?
Well, being like, I do the Bollywood dance. 𝘂𝗁 started the Bollywood dancing also, but Sanjana, because her dad is a singer and a musician, she doesn't know that, but she leaned more towards that. But she's very shy, so she's not out there yet. But she loves to sing and she loves music.
So does she sing like is she learning to sing? Like, does she go to dance class?
She's gifted naturally because she can pretty much pick up any instruments and play whatever she wants. She just doesn't want to pursue it because of her dad. And
well, obviously it must run in the blood, because her grandfather, he was an amazing singer. Yeah, I met him a couple of times.
Yeah,
because he used to come to 𝘵𝘰𝘱𝘆 there to perform.
Yeah, him and Ruby, right?
Yeah. And only I didn't notice. I did not know.
I never told you. Oh, well, now you know.
only like, I think like 2-3 days ago, I was playing his music and I was saying to my husband, this guy he's such a good singer, and he used to come to the temple and stuff, and I had so much respect for him, you know, in a cultural sense. I don't know him personally. Yeah. I did not know that.
With Sanjana, last Diwali, we went to our friend's house. He has a mini studio in his house. And we told her, just sing something, right? She put on the headphones and she started recording one of the Weeknd's song. She ended up singing 3 of it, 4 of it. And, you know, everyone that was there was so amazed that she has such a beautiful voice, but she just doesn't want to bring it forward. Like, she's very shy, she's very reserved. Whereas 𝘂𝗁 would pretty much get on a stage and dance without nobody's watching her, you know?
I know. So, you know, like if she ever wants to try recording, my son has a recording studio.
I would love for her to do it, but she's so reserved.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It has to be the right time when she's ready, when she feels like she needs to do it. She has to be ready for that. So what advice would you give to my viewers, not only as a single mom of twins, but as a single mom in general, raising 3 kids from the age of 32, right? What advice would you give to the other women out there who are probably going through a divorce or thinking of leaving because, you know, it's not good at home, and they do have children that they have to think about? And a lot of women, and I'm sure you notice, and same for me, a lot of women who wants to, you know, go from being in a bad relationship to being single, having children holds them back from doing that, and it makes the decision a little bit more difficult. But as you and I can share with the audience, it is doable. So what advice can you give them?
So in the beginning, I would say when it was new that okay, now you're a single mom of 3 children, you know, I said, I did go through the phase where I was depressed. I used to cry, you know, but you know what? I didn't let that get me down. It lasted, I would say, a couple of months. I got up one morning and I was like, you can do this. You don't need to be in a toxic relationship. You don't need to be in a relationship where you're hurt every day. You can do this. When God gives that child to you, he makes his plan to help you take care of that baby, with or without a dad. And I mean, there's a lot of support out there. Many people don't know, but there's a lot of support. There's a lot of single moms. I would say a single moms club, which I never joined, but having the emotional support from family, not everybody's situation is the same. I got lucky. I really got lucky coming from a big family. I had a lot of support from my friends in Penal Rock Road. They're very supportive people, but again, not everybody's situation would be the same, because as we all might know, when you're in a relationship, you tend to forget about your friends, which I did.
Yeah.
You put aside your friends for your husband, for your children, for everybody else. My advice to you is don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. Keep your friends, keep your circle, keep your village, because those are the people that would be there for you and your children. And don't ever think that you're alone. There's always people out there to support you. I'm one of them if you ever want to hit me up.
Good. So I call it the tribe.
Yes, definitely.
We're the tribe of empowered women, right?
And women need to stick together.
Yeah. And you have to have people that you can lean on, or you can at least talk to. And if you're going through any kind of, or abuse or any unsettling, even if you're sick or you're not feeling well and you need that support, reach out. We're here, and as Sunita said, she can talk to you as well. If you have anything that you want to talk to me about, I am happy to do so. I do have a mini program that I'm offering for free. It's how to get from overpowered to empowered in 7 days. And overpowered could be anything. It could be financial. It could be just, dealing with COVID. It could be, going through a divorce. It could be fighting with your parents, right? It could be anything. Not being able to handle school, like teenagers. Like I have one client who's in school and it's going very hard for her. So I kind of coach her into staying in school, because at one point she was going to be, leaving school and didn't want to go to school anymore. And so, it could be anything that you're feeling overpowered about. The tribe is here for you.
Yeah, don't ever think you have to stay in a toxic relationship or think that you're stuck with this one person because you have kids for him. Don't.
Yeah.
It's unhealthy. It doesn't do anything for you. You just become a live-in maid. I've been there, so I can tell you. You just become a live-in maid. You work for free, basically, and then you're going through all of your emotions and you have no one to speak to because that person has no time for you. But you can get out of it, get your power back.
And the one thing that I know that worry a lot of women is being able to do it financially. That's one of the biggest. Number one is not not leaving, leaving and not being able to take care of your kids. And the second one is financial. We always worry, am I going to be able to do it financially? But I would say, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes, definitely. I mean, you can always go back to school. There's so much support right here. There's a lot of support.
Yeah.
I did it. I went back to school when my children.
I know, me too. Yeah. I did it with 4 kids.
I remember one morning I had to write an exam and my sisters had school because they used to be my backup support because we don't believe in daycare. And they were like, don't put my nieces in daycare. So they would help me when they're home. But then this one morning they had school. I had to go in to write an exam early and I had no one to watch the twins. I got them in their coat, put them in their double stroller, took them down with me. I told my instructor when I got there, I was like, I have to keep my babies because I need to write this exam today. And she kept them for an hour and a half. I got lucky. Yeah. And I wrote my exam.
Yeah. I know.
I still remember that.
Yeah, it's so hard to, to do things for ourselves but I look back at it and I sit. So I went back to school because I wanted to have a better job. right?
Mhm.
To be able to provide better for my kids, to be able to buy a home and things like that. So I went back to school 3 times. with kids.
And you're never too old to go back to school too.
No, and I'm doing it again right now. I don't have to. I want to. You know, I want to be able to leave a legacy for my grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, to be able to, you know, have them say, my grandma wrote a book and my grandma did this, my grandma did that, and, you know, leave a legacy so that they can follow, you know.
Mhm.
So I want you to move aside so we can see the twins. I know that they're behind you. Yep, there they are. How old are they then?
They were 9. I took this picture at the studio because just before we took this, just after we took this picture, they went to cut off their hair for donation for the first time. They donated.
You told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because my cousin died of cancer, and that was the next year, they decided to donate it to Princess Margaret Hospital on her name. They did it for 4 years after that, and now they just want to keep their hair.
I know, well, one of them is going to be dancing, so she's going to need the hair.
Yeah.
I know. Well, it was lovely talking to you. I really appreciate you joining us for our very first Let's Talk with Sandy. So we are going to be delving into all kinds of topics, going from overpowered to empowered and talking to women who are empowered women like yourself. So I thank you once again, and I'll see you soon. I think I'll be seeing you on the weekend, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Take care.
Take care. Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.